on the Female Solution, blogtalkradio.com, the Female Solution. Thank you for joining us here on our Instagram channel, Zelda Speaks, the number 2 and the letter U, and on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV Show. Yes, we're live Monday morning. And thank you so much for joining us. Tune in. Author Kelly Manges, author of All Lives Matter. So be sure and join us. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone that you know. Because it's time. So tune in. And thanks for sharing.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Aswaba. In Nigeria, Kenya. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Bangladesh. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, the Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit zeldaspeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moments tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Valona Health, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep its bones, joints, and muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movements. Thanks for being a part of the Higher Learning Network on the Female Solution.
Grand rising. Yes, and thank you so much for joining me today on the Female Solution. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. It's a good day to be alive and breathing. We celebrated Father's Day yesterday, so kudos to all the fathers in the world who are raising children, who are helping raising children, whether you're biological or not. The extended family is what's important because, back in the day, it was Big Mama who took the stragglers in who didn't have a home. Now they're all the homeless children are on the street. Well, we're going to find out a whole lot more about that today when we talk to our author from Chicago, Kelly Manges, talking about all lives matter. That means yours and mine. Well, welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. We're here to start your day off with a stress relief session. Well, we do meditation at 7:15, so be sure and text somebody and let them know that we're on. And happy Earth Day, birthday, born day, if today's your natal day. If you're celebrating, we're celebrating with you because life is life, and we're here having breath and breathing. And isn't that a good thing? Because somebody somewhere is not so fortunate. So happy Earth Day, birthday, born day to you. And also not happy, but let us keep in mind those, the sick and the shut-in, those who have been affected by the coronavirus and just the virus of stress that's rolling around this city. We'll be joined by a young lady who has captured the essence of that, and she'll be joining us at 7:30 this morning. Her name is Kelly Manges, and I did include that no life is more important than the next. So that means your life is as important as anybody you see on TV and radio and anywhere else. If you're listening online this morning, you want to join us, we'd love to have you. Be sure and join the conversation by calling in at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And you can also see us. We're live on Facebook.com, HLN TV show. Can you see the HLN right back there? There it is, HLN TV show. That's our YouTube channel, and also Zelda Speaks and the HLN TV show, Facebook.com, HLN TV show. You can join us by calling in 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And while you're there, remember to set your DVRs. I always said VCR. You set your DVRs for the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6 p.m., Wednesdays at 1 p.m. on Channel 19, and 24/7 on the World Wide Web, higherlearningnetwork.org. See, because there's a lot of higher learnings. I discovered that, but there's only one, higherlearningnetwork.org. And be sure and check out our blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. There's a whole lot of things going on that you know absolutely nothing about, because the wool is being pulled over our eyes. And when you see the Black Authority on my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com, you will have another conversation in your head talking about Juneteenth, because we just celebrated Juneteenth, right? And we'll continue to celebrate Juneteenth, but there's some things you need to know. So be sure and check that out. And if you are still, everybody's been quarantined, you're not feeling 100% yourself, then maybe it's time to do some self-healing and not wait on the healthcare, sick care system to treat us, because that's not the way to go. The way to go is to deal with I like to use the phrase that Dr. C.J. Mimi mentioned, and that is to keep moving. A body in motion stays in motion. Sitting is the new smoking. Did you know that? Yeah, we sit all day. So inflammation in the body and everywhere else, pain and inflammation of the joints, arthritis, all that good stuff. I talk about it all the time. So go to my site, zelda.now.site, and there's information there. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, diabetes is like the number 2 killer in the Black community. So be sure and check out diabeticdonut.com. Yeah, I know I said it, diabeticdonut.com. And the reason why is because if I healed myself from diabetes, you can do it. Anybody can do it. It's just a process, and it takes a little time. So bear, be patient with yourself because time is on your side, but you have to take advantage of it. A special grand rising to our sisters of the microphone who are not here with us, and that would be Minister Cynthia Marie Williams, who is out of the nursing home and hopefully back in her home. And also for Mama AZ in Arizona, I believe it is. I can't remember. Fort Knox, Arizona. Some of our regular callers. And so let us keep them in prayer. And pray that when you do decide to make a trip somewhere, because people are traveling, airports are crowded, that you take your time and not be in a hurry. I prefer the train because I like to drive, but the train is just so much easier. But it's twice as expensive as the plane, so it makes you fly, right? Okay. Anyway, you won't be flying this morning. Traffic and weather sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. If you're an entrepreneur or business owner, you have services or products to offer the general public, then you need to know about iTex. And if you want to travel to the Caribbean, Jamaica, Alaska, Hawaii, Mexico, anywhere you want to travel all the world, join iTex and get a $100 bonus to go shopping immediately if you need products or services. Travel is just one of the benefits. And that way you can use those benefits to your advantage, but you've got to mention the promo code ZELDA, ZELDA. Thank you, Richard McGee. And excuse me, as we take a look, it is a hot mess. There was a tornado warning all over the south and west suburbs last night. Naperville, storm damage. Burr Ridge, Park Forest, Darien, Illinois, to Plainfield. All the western suburbs got just tore up. If you saw the news this morning, it's a hot mess. But mostly cloudy and warm in Chicago today. 64 right now, mostly cloudy, windy, and humid up until 92. Yes, love that muggy weather, except for when there's no wind blowing. Other than that, it's a good day. No reported delays on Metro or CTA, but as we take a look at the Kennedy inbound, there's a whole nother story. There's a 3-car crash slow at North Avenue. It's 50 minutes out to O'Hare. Also, there's an accident near O'Hare from Fullerton, so expect delays if you're headed to the airport this morning. Inbound on the Eden is 23:19 on the reverse. On the Eisenhower, it's 25 minutes, almost 30 minutes in and 21 out. On the Stevenson, a little bit better there, 15 minutes inbound and 16 minutes on the reverse. On the Dan Ryan, that earlier crash at 35th Street has been cleared, but expect delays bumper to bumper to Roosevelt Road. It is 22 minutes in and 15 minutes out. Inbound on the Bishop Ford, slow to the Ryan near the Stony Island Exchange, 15 minutes, and Lakeshore Drive, 12 minutes in both directions. And that's your traffic and weather, sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. And it is now, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. I guess I need to drink a little tea here. I am reading from Inspirational Conversations, 365 Days of Empowerment with Shalom Yisrael. And this is from Volume 1. Last week I read from Volume 2, but I usually read from the date. I don't read from the date. Today is the 21st, but I will be reading from the 22nd. And it says, we are never stuck in a situation. We are only stuck in the way we think about a situation. And that's temporary if you choose it to be. Change your thinking, change your life, one thought at a time. And the affirmation for today is just for today. I choose to think thoughts that only coincide with the truth about who and what I really am. I am a magnificent being with the power to be all that I am destined to be. I am a divine being, and I act accordingly. Inspirational Conversations with Shalom Yisrael, aka Zelda Speaks. Proceed available at higherlearningnetwork.org, and proceeds benefit the Youth Talent Contest, which is Number 7, which is coming up this Saturday, 12 noon until 4 p.m. Excuse me, until 1 p.m. Did I just say 4 hours? 12 noon Central Standard Time until 1 p.m. It's only an hour show, and you can see all the previous shows on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV show. So be sure and check that out. We always have students from all over the world. I was so shocked, and I have to tell this story every time because when we first started, I'm wondering where are the children from America, because we got Asia, we got audition tapes from Asia, Africa, Europe, Spain, Dubai, in the Middle East, just everywhere. I'm like, okay, do we have any children in America? Especially for Chicago. We didn't get Chicago contestants until round 3, and we're in round 7. So we were happy that we had children all over the world. We just wonder where the children from Chicago are. Okay, so they finally showed up. And next week, we'll be having the young man, Kashan, I forgot his name, Kashan Ellis or something like that. Anyway, he's from Glenview, and he won. So it's number 7, round number 7. So I'm excited. So tell all your youth ages 13 through 19 if they would like to participate in the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. That will be round number 8. That'll be next month in July. But they can send in their 1-minute video audition to hlntvshow@gmail.com. That's hlntvshow@gmail.com. A 1-minute audition of their singing, acting, dancing, spoken word, poetry, whatever they do. Just send it in. And if they don't want to interrupt their 1 minute, they can send in a separate 10 to 15 seconds just saying who they are and what they do. And send that to hlntvshow@gmail.com. And that is our promo for the day. If you are a parent, guardian, or anything of that nature, be sure and share that information with them. And if you need to contact me during the week, there's my link tree. Higher Learning Network. So you can always contact me at that information. It is now time for the information that you expect at 7:15 every morning, and that's your Monday morning mindfulness meditation, in which we will sit up straight in our chairs, feet flat on the floor, nothing in our hands, nothing in our laps. If you're sitting up straight, if you need a pillow in your back, that's fine, but it's better if you don't, because we're going to do something with the back that you need some space in between you and the back. So if you can, sit up straight. Close your eyes. You should not be looking at me, but the inside of your eyelids. Okay? And what we're going to do is inhale to the count of 5, hold it, and exhale. And we're doing all of this through the nose. We're not breathing through the mouth this morning. We're breathing through the nose. Okay? Alrighty, so inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Are you breathing with me? Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. You feel that calming effect over your body immediately. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Now, as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, we do not have to be in accordance with our breathing. We don't have to be synced as long as you are breathing and your eyes are closed, because I want you to have this experience that you can practice at home alone when you are stressed the hell out. So inhale deeply. And exhale. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to take your breath as you inhale and fill up that chest, that upper cavity. When you feel that, that means you're breathing deep enough. If you're not filling that chest up when you breathe, then you need to try it again and take a little longer deep breath. Deep breathing expands the lungs. It triggers the brain receptors to the happiness gene, to the calm gene, to the cool gene, to the you gene, where you can be your very best. So let's breathe in. Hold it. And exhale. Now, as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, Observe where your mind goes. It's probably thinking of your to-do list, what to eat for breakfast, all the things that are on your plate for the day, but you simply take that focus, take that energy, and put it into the breath that you're breathing in. Focus on the breath. Inhale deeply, bringing that energy up to the top of the head. And as you exhale, bring the energy down from the face, the forehead, shoulders. Ah, yes, feeling the body relax and the tension let go. As you inhale deeply, once more. And as you exhale, bring the energy down past the shoulders and the sides and the back and the hips and the buttocks and the thighs. Inhale deeply. Sending love, light, and energy down through the knees. Oh, yes, those glorious knees. If you are a skater, you will understand those knees need to be strong if you're out there rolling around. As we exhale. Inhale deeply. Sending more love, light, and energy down through the legs and the ankles and the insteps and the arches. Continue breathing. Feeling the energy throughout the feet. Wiggle those toes if you like. Sending that energy back up as we inhale deeply. Bringing that energy back up from the arch and the instep and the heel and the ankle and the legs as we continue to breathe in. And as we breathe out. Giving thanks for the power of the breath as we breathe in. Bringing that energy back up through the thighs and the hips and the buttocks and the back as we inhale and exhale. Giving thanks for the power of the breath. Inhale deeply. Bringing that energy back up through the back of the neck. Take these two hands. We'll just take this one hand and take these two fingers in your thumb. Inhale deeply. And take these fingers and put them in the back of your neck and just squeeze. And that way you are touching the vagus nerve. Stimulating the vagus nerve stimulates your whole circulatory system, especially the electrical system that is in your body, that is in your back, that carries all the weight of the tension throughout the course of the day. Feel free to massage the back of that neck, even the back of the bone that's across the shoulders. Just rub on it, love on it. Take a deep breath. Inhale deeply. And sending love and light and energy through the vagus nerve that keeps you stimulated, that keeps you connected to the divine source as you breathe in. And as you breathe out. Once more, inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Take one more long, last, deep. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And as you exhale, bring your head forward, chin to chest. And slowly rotate the head to the right. That's why you're sitting up straight, so you won't get a crook in your back. And slowly rotate the head to the back. Slow down. You're moving too fast. And slowly rotating that head over to the right. Oh, yeah, that stretch feels good. And bringing that head back around to the front. Chin up. Inhale deeply. And exhale, bringing the head back down, chin to chest, and rolling the head to the right. Slowly bringing it around to the back, slowly. And slowly bringing that head over to the left, slowly. Feeling the increments, the stretch of the neck. And slowly bringing it around to the front, head up, inhale deeply. And exhale. Once more, inhale deeply. And this time, look to your left as far as you possibly can. Feeling the stretch in the right of the neck. And exhale. Inhale once more. And as you exhale, turn your head to the right. feeling the stretch in the left part of your neck. Oh, yes, that feels good. And exhale. Take one more long, deep inhale. Inhale deeply. And stretch those arms. Yes, give that body some movement. Yes, feel free to rotate those arms and those shoulders. Yeah, got a little Janet Jackson control going on this morning. I know Zelda can't sing. All right. Anyway, just trying to get you to move that body. Yeah, move that body. Feels good, doesn't it? Oh, yes. One more long, last deep. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Doesn't that feel good? Oh, I love it when I stretch. And see, this is something that you can practice during the course of the day. And it doesn't take 10 minutes. Doesn't take 5 minutes. You can do it in 10 seconds. When folks are getting on your last nerve, you simply look at them like they're crazy. And then you take a long, deep inhale. And when you look like that, they automatically think you're crazy. But this time, when you exhale, you blow out through your nose, through your mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And the reason why you're using your mouth this time, because hopefully you got a little garlic or a little onion on there, or you forgot to brush your teeth this morning. That will be some funk in their face. And I promise you that they will leave you alone. They will let you have a space of your own. So be sure and try that. Anytime you're stressed out, just breathe. Just start breathing. We give thanks this morning for the breath of life as we send love, light, and energy through our brain, through our ears, our face, our mouth, our nose, all the parts of our body, liver, lungs. We give thanks for the spine. We give thanks for the circulatory system, the digestive system, the assimilation system, the elimination system. Elimination, poop, when you go to the bathrooms, for those of you who don't know, because there's a lot of us running around here constipated. I take Nopalina and flaxseed and chia seeds and a lot of other things. So if you need that information, just connect with me here on Linktree. When you leave, before you leave the house today, remember the two most important words on the planet that you can use, and that is I am. And feel free to say that with me. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete, just as I am. Let's say it again together. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. See, because that experience you had this morning was your connection to your higher self. That is the self that will never, ever steer you wrong. If you trust and believe. And I believe you believe. And I also believe that you're going to go to my YouTube channel, Zelda Speaks, and please subscribe. And thank you for subscribing. And it is about that time for our first message break. And when we come back, we will be joined by our author of All Lives Matter, and that will be Kelly Manges, who will be joining us. So you stay close right here, and we will be right back with Kelly Manges. So stay close, and thanks for listening. And thanks for watching.
What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery, the African American psychic trauma. What happened to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? Who did they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identities? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. And get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Life transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Soo Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com. Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here today. I am joined by my sister, author Kelly Manges. Welcome to The Female Solution, and thank you so much for joining us this morning, Kelly.
Thank you for having me, Zelda. I'm so excited.
And I'm excited that you're excited because all of this excitement has got me going around in circles. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got Kelly on this morning. I have been waiting and waiting. Girl, let me tell you.
Tell me.
I am on page, I haven't finished it, but I am on page 120, racial profiling. Can you all see that? Well, here's the cover of the book, All Lives Matter. Let me read to you what I read on the back of the book that hooked me. It says, walk with Kelly through her autobiographical account of All Lives Matter that includes experiences with individuals from the womb to end of life transitions. Kelly shows us how living judgment free. Oh my God. Are we all? I'm trying my very best. I am conscious of this. I'm very aware of it. But it just slaps you in your face and it makes you look at you as opposed to what's going on out there. We are a reflection of what's happening. Okay. I digress. But anyway, I got so excited. What did I leave off? Kelly shows us how living judgment-free lives can create serenity and open us up to receive more joy along with peace. Lord knows we know the peace and peace that passes understanding. Come on now. Find out why she wants to make the case that by reaching out in love to individuals who don't look like us, love like us, or worship like us, we broaden our horizons. And in the end, the world becomes a better place. That statement alone is so powerful. Every mind on this planet Earth and the other planets, wherever you are, if you read English, you all need to read this too. Kelly. I can't put the book down. Pat kept asking me, and kudos to Pat Liz, my skate buddy. who says, I have a girlfriend named Kelly Manges, and she has a new book out. Would you like to buy it? And I was like, another book. I'm reading Michelle Obama. It took me 2 months to read that. Let me tell you how the spirit works, and I'm gonna shut up and let you talk. But I got to tell you this.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Tuesday is my skate day with the girls. We play bead whist, and the sun's coming in. I knew I should have closed that blind, but I wanted to experience the sun. Just this past Tuesday, I'm on my way to pick up lunch for the girls, and I get there. I pick up the lunch, go get back in my car, and the car wouldn't start. Brand new car won't start.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to get out of order here. I'm going to see what the universe is trying to tell me. Long story short, I read 100 pages sitting there waiting for the truck. So I said, evidently, I was supposed to read more than 10 or 15 pages before I got Kelly on the show. So I'm 100 pages in. Yes, ma'am. So I know how this book came about, but I need you to tell our viewers and listeners this morning. If you're listening on Facebook.com, HLN TV show, and our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV show. Oh, and Zelda Speech too. I forgot about that. Be sure and share this video with somebody right now because they need to hear what this sister is about to say. Girl, tell us, girl, all lives matter and why.
Well, you know what? I'm almost embarrassed to say how long ago the project started. It was way, way back when. And the thing that motivated me was the state that the United States and abroad was in with this racial, oh man, how can I describe it and not be in words that are too ugly? Racial discord. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, in the words of somebody else. And so it initially started out being a title that was Racism Hurts. And as it kind of evolved into an autobiographical thing, and I started bringing in all of my experiences, it turned into All Lives Matter. And a lot of people tried to talk me out of that title.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I can tell you that when I'm in public with that book out, and I'll tell you too, if you're in public with it out, it kind of ticks people off.
Really?
Because it's offensive. They see it as being offensive to Black Lives Matter.
Oh.
And I can see that. But the project started way before Black Lives Matter. And being a Black woman who's been on the planet for over half a century, I am clear that Black Lives Matter.
Amen.
But all of my experiences came together to bring the book together. And hence, All Lives Matter.
Yes, ma'am. And it's so sad to see that a certain sect of folks would find offense to this because they don't know the history of it. They don't know what you know and the experiences that you've had. And the purpose of this is not to offend,
no,
but to bring peace, to bring us together. Yes. So after you have that conversation, does anything change with some of the people that you've had the discussion with?
You know what? I am going to bring up one person without a name.
Okay.
But when I said, what they said to me was Black Lives Matter. I just kind of had the book out and they said Black Lives Matter. And I said, All Lives Matter. And they said Black Lives Matter. And that went on it went back and forth. And then I said, you should just read the book.
Thank you.
Just read the book. I'm clear on why people feel the way they do. I'm clear. Because as you know, Zelda, when the Black Lives Matter movement started, that's what people were saying. You know, all lives matter. And they were saying it to come against that Black Lives Matter statement. So when I decided to choose that title, I knew ahead of time what I was going to be up against, but I was willing to deal with it. So
what I find so strange, excuse me, is that where Black Lives Matter originated from. And most people have not done the research. They don't even know who's funding Black Lives Matter. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, you know what? And I'm going to piggyback on that and say another reason why I went with the title is because as a nation, we have to become more empathetic.
Yes.
I work with perpetrators of domestic violence. They were mandated to take 6 weeks of domestic violence courses. And I was one of the people in the class, the facilitators, always a male and a female. And what I would tell them was this, and we went on something called empathy walks, something that I created because, you know, if their partner said the sky is blue and they decided it was green, it was going to be green. And if they had to have a physical fight about it, it was going to be green. So what I tried to get them to understand is you need to look at your partner's whole experience, see what they're bringing to the table, think of why they believe the sky is blue, and then decide whether you're going to argue about whether the sky is green. What I learned from that is, and I think I'm a better person from working with these guys, you know, you think you're doing something for somebody else and all of a sudden, bam, you learn from it. I look at what other people are bringing to the table because I used to love to win. I'm just a typical, what do you call it? Debate person. You know, I love debates, but through that process of working with those guys, I now will stop, ask questions, try to figure out why a person feels the way that they do, and then respond. As a nation, empathy is out the window. When we are upset about the way people wear their hair, the way people worship, the way people think, can we just have some conversations?
Yes.
And find out why.
And not explode.
Exactly.
And speaking of a conversation, let's go to the phone lines because we have a caller at 773-972 who wants to join the conversation. Grand Rising, what's your name, where you're calling from, and what's your comment?
You are now talking to Pat.
Oh, Pat!
Hey, Pat.
Patricia, Pat, Liz, thank you for joining us on the Female Solution this morning.
Of course, you know I had to.
Yes, ma'am.
And the book is awesome. Oh, it just brings tears to my eyes on some of those chapters. It's just an awesome book. I loved every single word Kelly wrote. She's just a beautiful person. Beautiful person, inside, outside, and all the way around.
Thank you, Pat.
My cousin.
Oh, she's your cousin.
We're cousins, yeah.
Oh, I missed that, Pat. You probably told me and I just forgot. That's all.
Zelda, I want to be just like her when I grow up.
I know that's right, girl. Because when
she's awesome too.
Yes, ma'am. When she was about to retire, that's all we heard is Pat's gonna retire. Pat's gonna retire. Pat's gonna retire. I was like, what does Pat do? Is she's gonna retire? Okay. That's a whole nother show. But anyway, I'm glad she retired so she can have time to help her cousin do her things because, as you say, all lives matter, whether we agree with them or not.
That's right. That's right.
What was your favorite part, or one of your favorites? Because it was all good. What was your one of your favorite parts in the book, Pat? Because you see, Kelly, you see, can you see my list of things? Wait, my list of things to talk about.
I can see it. I can.
Girl, I took notes because I can't keep all that up here. And I was like, okay, I got from page 6 to page 107, page 613, page 18, page 24, page 38, page 45, page 58. I want to talk about all of those. I don't know if we're gonna get to all that on the show today, but anyway, Pat, I want you to tell us what were one of the things that stood out for in the book for you.
One of the things that really stood out is listening to Kelly talking about her childhood and how she evolved from listening to her grandmother and taking what her mom said to her and how she just became such empathetic and how she went about listening to everyone. And I was just so amazed at the things and the life she has led as far as being in contact with all the different religions and understanding and just empathy.
Yes. And religion, I'm glad you mentioned that, Pat, because religion is a big part of that, because religion keeps us contained, for lack of a better word. It keeps us in a certain mindset. That's why I love my sisters of the microphone, because we all come from different backgrounds. We have our own different perspectives, but we somehow come together as it relates to sharing the message of love, light, and energy and healing through this platform, because there's no one set way of doing anything. We have many options available to us. Yes. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Pat. Pat, I don't want you to go anywhere. Pat, I want you to hold on while we take another call. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to keep your mic open, okay?
Okay.
All right. 312-213. You're live on the Female Solution Grand Rising. What's your name and where you're calling from as it relates to, what's your question? All Lives Matter with author Kelly Manges. Hi, who's this?
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Warlika.
Hi, Warlika. Thank you for calling this morning. Where are you calling from?
Okay. Chicago.
Chicago. All right.
I had the opportunity to meet the author at her book signing.
Oh.
And as I sat there and they did testimonials to her, I'm like, do people like this really exist?
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Wow.
She's an adopted mother. She's a foster mother. These things, this is a part of her history. And I said, I had last chance, had the opportunity. I have not finished the book because I'm concentrating on so many chapters. And I have to bring Pat back into this. Pat called me the day after the book signing. She said, have you read the book? And I said, no, Pat, I haven't read the book. But anybody knows Pat, I said, okay, I'm going to read one chapter and then I'm going to put it to the side. Okay. The next, I read the one chapter. I read more than one, but I read the one chapter and I called Pat the next day and I said, okay, Pat, I know why you want me to read the first chapter, but the conversation is not open. The topic is not open for conversation. What it was, I recognized me in the very first chapter.
Okay.
And there's a part of me that's all over that chapter. And I told Pat, I don't want to talk about it. Half hour later, we were after it, still talking about it. But later after that, I sat on Pat's back porch with Kelly and Pat's daughter, and the four of us were there for hours practicing the lost art. What is the lost art? Conversation.
Yes.
People don't sit out like we sat in the back porch in the fresh air just talking.
Thank you.
And we
That always makes it better.
Yes, it does.
I thank God for the opportunity to
Thank you.
What did you? Can you spell your name for me?
spell it.
Yes.
Jaurlita.
T-A. Warnita?
It's like W-A-R. Warlita.
Warlita. Gotcha. Okay, Warlita. Very unusual name for a very enlightened woman. How about that?
Thank you.
Because when you said you Warlita, you read the first chapter and you said you thought you were going to be through with it, baby. Let me tell you, you got through the next chapter, and I was the same way. You just couldn't put it down. I like books that you get in trouble because you should be doing something else, but you can't put the book down. I had one book like that in my life. Well, I've had several books. I shouldn't say that. I've had the last really good book was about 20 years ago. I don't even remember the name of it. That's sad, but that's not important. I was working at the University of Chicago, and every break that I got for 15 minutes, I'm in the bathroom reading. And my supervisor came in and said, "Is there a problem?" I said, "Yeah, there is a problem. I've got release issues." What's wrong with me? I'm sitting in the bathroom on the stool reading the book. And had I been working, thank God I'm retired now, because I'd have been fired from somewhere, because I'd have been in the bathroom reading the book. This is one of those books. I'm not saying this just for hype, so people about who are you? Yeah. Your story.
Thank you.
Your story. I get it why all lives are important, because the life that you've lived, the things that you've done, and to be the kind of woman that opens her heart and her home to children who have no recourse, who have nowhere else to go. I'm sorry. I apologize for this. I am at fault here because I am, what's the word for it? Not guilty. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. You open your arms with no question asked. Thank you, Warlita. You open your arms to children who I had no idea there were so many homeless children. 1.7. I'm reading in your book on page. Let me go to my notes here. I got a page full of notes on stop aborting. Well, that was number 1, foster children. On page 45, it begins the process of talking about that. Oh, foster kids, teens on page 100. And on 107, foster children. I got to read this 107. Can I read from the book?
Please.
A teen. This is the foster child matters. See, we talk about kids running around in the street, but the question is, have you stopped any of them and had a conversation with them? I do from time to time, and my husband tells me I talk too much, and you need to leave these kids alone because one of them gonna wind up shooting you. And I say I do what the Spirit tells me to do. The Spirit ain't never led me wrong. So let me read this. Page 107. A teen. In the book, The 5 Love Languages of God by Gary Chapman, he states, a teen who feels abandoned, rejected, or abused will almost certainly struggle with self-worth, meaning, and purpose. His or her love tank will be empty. We're running around on empty, and we're trying to buy things, eat things, have relationship, do other things to fill our love tank because it's empty. Eventually, the pain of feeling unloved will show up in the destructive behavior of the teenager. You wonder why they buck wild. There's no love.
Yeah.
It's just like you can't drive a car with no gas in it. Our lives are the very same way.
I love that point, Zelda. I love that.
You wonder why they are the way they are. So the question is, stop wondering why they are the way they are, and do your part, and not be scared that a child is going to shoot you, because all they really want is love.
Yeah.
They want somebody to talk to them. They want somebody to hold them. They want somebody to care. Just acknowledge them. Just say you are special. You are somebody. What you do, what you say makes a difference. On page 107, if that was 107, let me go back to page 100. And you should be reading your own book, but I'm just telling you this.
No. Go ahead. And while you're looking, I want to say that back up what Gary Chapman said. People should have at least 5 people whose eyes light up when they walk into a room.
Wow.
And that is something very simple that we can do. A lot of times somebody will approach me and they'll say, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. And they're like, do you know me? Like, no, I don't know you, but I am happy to see you. Oh, wow. And so we could do something as simple as that. When we are faced with new people, become one of the people in their life who makes them feel like they're the most important person in the room. Oh, and that's easy to do.
That is powerful.
Very easy to do.
And it makes you think, do I have that many people in my life that the room will light up when I walk in the room? I don't know. I got to think about that. But I want to go back to the teens for a minute on page 100, the life of the homeless teen matters. Why does this matter to me? Because I have no teens, but I see teens all the time. And I was once a teen. I know you were too. We all were, and we know how that feels. 1 point on page 100. According to the National Center on Family Homelessness, there are 1.6 million homeless youth in the United States. That is a crying shame. Is it not, Warlita and Pat? We live in a place where they are spending so much money on beautifying the neighborhoods that where all lives matter. Yeah. But there's a homeless section in this city. And I'm passionate about homeless people because my little brother was homeless. He was killed by another homeless person. So I made it my mission to help those that I know that are homeless. But 1.6 million homeless children, what has happened to the family structure?
That's another book, Zelda.
Okay.
You know, people say it all the time, and I say it in the book, you know, like, what are the parents doing? Yeah. They're suffering from mental illness. They're suffering from drug addiction, alcohol abuse. They're suffering from domestic violence. We do not have good structures, and we have to acknowledge that and then begin to do something about it. 70, I don't want to give a statistic because I don't want anybody jumping on me about it, but a high number of our young teenagers are foster children, and most of the children in juvenile detention, over 50% are from foster care. So there is not a lot of family structure for these kids.
Yes.
And the question is, what can we do? That's whether we got to stop worrying about what lives matter. Is what's more important. Black lives matter. All lives matter. And we got to get in the trenches and do something.
And that's exactly what you did. I commend you,
Thank you.
Because I've run away from that responsibility all my life. And kudos to all the mothers out there, because I didn't feel love in my life as a child. So I know that the reason why I don't have children now, that's one of the reasons. And I feel I know what that feels like. So I feel it's my responsibility to reach out to some teens who also, because you can see it in their face. You know when a child doesn't feel love, you can see it in their energy, in their face, in their behavior, in their clothing, in their conversation. So my hat's off to you. I had a girlfriend who had 5 children and she adopted 5 more. When she told me she adopted 5, and she bought a house so she could house the children. I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you? Have you lost your mind? She said,
That's
girl,
awesome.
I'm just telling you what Spirit told me to do. I was like, okay, well, I hope Spirit don't tell me to do that. I'll do my teaching on another level. Thank you very much. And her name is Inez. I know she don't. I'm not gonna say her last name, but I'm gonna say Inez. So thank you, Miss Inez, for the lesson, because that prepared me for the conversation with Kelly Manges. So if you just tuned in this morning, it's 7:59. We would love to have you join the conversation. We are live here on Facebook.com, HLN TV show. Also, you'll see our logo right there in the back on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV show. And if you would like to call in, we'd love to have the conversation. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to come right back. So you all stay close, Pat and Warlita. We'll be right back with Kelly Manges.
God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Beata. Everything you need, what your body needs, is found in nature. So Susan Essentials doesn't do it any other way. Susan Essentials provides your employees and individuals access to over 20,000 nutritional products, and they are shipped direct to your door. Because Susan Essentials is certified in plant-based healing, we're permitted to offer you the best nutritional supplements on the planet. They're non-GMO and sustainably produced, and we take the guesswork out for you. Let Susan Essentials help you take control of your health today.
Grand Rising. We are back here on The Female Solution with my special guest, All Lives Matter, with author Kelly Manges. And we're going back to the phone lines. This conversation is getting good. Pat and Warlita, I'm going to open up your lines, but we're going to go back to area code 773-791. You're live on The Female Solution, Grand Rising. What's your name, where you're calling from, and what's your question or comment as it relates to All Lives Matter with Kelly Manges?
Oh, yes. My name is Patricia Hampton, and I am calling from Chicago.
Did you?
As you guys were talking about all of the homeless children and the lack of structure in family, we can't forget the trauma. The trauma that is really real. And as you were talking, what can we do about it? We need to start thinking, how can we help?
Right on target. You are right on target, Miss Patricia Hampton. On page 100, it says child abuse accounts for 2,000 fatalities a year in the United States alone. 27% of these fatalities are perpetrated by the mother. So we need to help the mothers. On page 101, teen homelessness and victimization is an equal opportunity phenomenon that spreads across all racial and ethnic backgrounds. According to the Department of Justice, every year, 1.7 million teens, 1.7 million teens experience homelessness in the United States. There's no excuse for this, people.
Yeah.
What are we going to do, Patricia Hampton? What are we going to do?
You know what? I'm telling you, the city has money.
Yes, they have money.
As a district, you know how much money they poured into the schools to reopen it? Every single classroom had an air purifier. It had masks. It was every school in the city, and now they're pumping $525 million into the school. They can do that for families.
Yes, they can. And they won't do it until we insist.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Every city, every single student had a Chromebook. They have money. They spend it where they want to spend it.
Yes, they do.
Where they spend it.
So the question is, how do we as a people demand, how do we come together and demand that the powers that be do what they need to do? You got money for all this other stuff. We know that there's money. So how do we come together? What's the solution? We can talk about it until we're blue in the face. What's the solution? What do we do?
That's the question. That's the $1 million question.
Well, I think we can start by, and Trisha, thanks for joining us. I think we can start by supporting the organizations that are focused on teens. And one place is Covenant House. It's a place where teens can go get a hot meal, have a place to sleep, and they're doing great work. So that's where we can start, I think. Start supporting organizations that are out there doing good in the neighborhood for teens. And then, kind of morph into that place where we can figure out where all of these monies are going and see who we need to talk to be able to redirect it.
And where is Covenant House?
It's all over the U.S.
Oh,
you can just Google it, and they have places everywhere.
I'm
everywhere.
so glad you said that.
Yeah.
I've heard of Covenant House, but I didn't know they were all over the place. The one that I know that is supporting teens is Kids Off the Block with Diane Latiker in Roseland. She's been doing it for some years now. And she started this project with teens in her living room.
I love it. I'm glad you mentioned her, so people will support that organization as well. Yeah.
I've got some, I don't want to close anybody's mouth mic, but I may have to do that because I hear a knocking in the background.
You know what? They are tuck pointing my building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know that there's nowhere I can go to stop it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Can we tolerate it?
Yes, we can. Yes,
okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
No. I just wanted to be sure it wasn't us.
Okay.
But it is us, so it's okay. What's important is that what we do to bring this under control. Because see, we don't realize we have the power.
Yeah.
The marketing machine knows that we have the power. That's why every time you turn on your computer to check your email, there's a pop-up there of something that you didn't look for or search for or you didn't read, and it's in. Oh Lord, I got comments. I haven't checked any of them. My apologies. I'm so caught up in this interview. Let me go post some of these comments. Okay. R.L. Smith says, I've read the whole book and it is very good read. So glad you read it. Yes, R.L. And thank you so much for that comment. Our sister of the microphone, Vianna Robinson in Florida. She says, Grand Rising, beautiful sister. Ariel says, me too. Okay, Ariel. And Viata says, that book should be a bestseller. No, 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 no. That book is a bestseller. It should not be. Because the more people get around to it, the better. Ariel says, yes, that's who she is. I'm a witness, a beautiful soul. Yes, she is. But girl, I don't know how you did. Because of the background that you have, Kelly, it opens you up to possibilities. And then you in turn open us all up to the possibilities of what can happen. Vieta says, are too many parents in their ego? Woo! Not listening to their children. Now, see, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Because we know everything.
Can I get a word in?
Please do.
This is Warlita.
This is Warlita.
We're going to look at the chapter called Children and Life. And Kelly relates the story of two children being present and one being ignored.
Yes.
They had the quote unquote look that associated with being cute, being light, curly haired, or these are prejudices that we come across all our lives. But I wanted to go a little bit deeper into my personal life with something that self-esteem issues. This relates to what we talked about. This self-esteem issues, allowing those children to feel pride and feel love. My own brother said to me, because I've always had self-esteem issues, I didn't think I was pretty because my sister, who I love dearly, she's the light-skinned one, and everybody would flock to her, and I would kind of get ignored. So there was no issue between my sister and I because she loved on me. She had a job, she took me shopping, we shared love.
Yeah.
But one of my brothers said to me, I didn't know that you didn't think you were pretty. I would have, if I had known, I would have told you. But he didn't know. This topic never came up. So what I want to say to all men, women, sisters, brothers, mothers, tell a child that they are pretty. Tell them that they're good. Tell them that they're sweet. Tell them that you love them.
Yes.
Because we all need that 8 to 80 and beyond.
Yes.
And before. From the womb to the tomb.
Amen.
Tell somebody in your presence that you love them. Tell them that they're pretty.
Yes. And don't just point out the ones that we think that are pretty. Tell them all they're pure, they're pretty, they're beautiful. And
that's what I'm saying.
Yes, and even go beyond this facade. Go into the recesses of their brain. Ooh, you looking real smart today. I bet you get good grades all the time, don't you? Well, if you don't, then I know you get them most of the time. R.L. Smith says, parents need help. These times are so difficult, and the stress of poverty and intergenerational curses is great.
And you know what? I'd like to piggyback on that. R.L. Smith, she and I have been best friends for 55 years, BFF to the end. But I'd like to piggyback on that. My concern is not whether parents are not listening to their kids. That's not a huge concern, because when you say that sentence, are parents listening to their kids, you are saying that there's a parent present and a kid present. My concern is the kid whose parent is not present because of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, mental health issues, poverty. That's our real problem. The fact that the kid and the parents are in the same home, we need to address that, but we got a much bigger problem, And like R.L. Smith said, the people need help. Parents need help.
Yes.
Children need help. Teens need help. So yeah, it's a much bigger problem than, are we disciplining our kids or are we listening to our kids? Those parents don't need as much, those houses don't need as much work as the other thing we're talking about.
Right. R.L. Smith also says folks are spending $550 million a piece to go on a trip to space. We can afford to do much more for our children.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Amen and amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
To the 10th degree.
Yes.
$550 million. If we took a tenth of that,
yep,
and did something, well, nothing's gonna happen until we decide to do it.
Absolutely.
And I think you started the ball rolling. Because I think people are waking up. Despite what the major market media tells us, people are waking up. We're having this conversation, and that's where it begins.
Yeah.
So this is like the Monday morning mindfulness kitchen table conversation.
There you go. I love it.
Listening, and we're going to do something. So the plan is we need to continue this conversation. This is just not a one-time thing. We need to have a monthly conversation at least, I think, on the female solution, because the females have the solution.
Yeah.
So we need to keep this conversation rolling about what organizations we are going to support. Not only the organizations, but what we as women are going to do to continue the conversation and the work. RL says, thanks, girl, for the shout out. I'm loving this show and watching you both get this word out. This is so important. And thank you, RL, for commenting, because this is the work that we all have to do. This is not about a me or she. This is teamwork.
Yeah.
And until we do that, well, we are doing that. I shouldn't say it until we do that. We are doing just that. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Kelly Manges and her followers and her friends and her family supporting the book All Lives Matter, because it's not about Black lives. It's not about Christian lives. We haven't even gotten to the religions. Can I read the is it the index, not the index, the chapters of what's in each chapter? I just thought that was so, and then we got to go to the phone and take some calls. The table of contents. I love this. You have broken it down in such a way. Chapter 1, all lives matter. Black lives matter. Religions other than our own matters. We got to talk about that very briefly. As a matter of fact, we better say it now because I might forget. I love the fact that you talked about each and every religion, Catholicism, Judaism, Buddhism, the Wiccan faith.
The Wiccan faith.
I was like, oh, okay, learn something there. The immigrant. It was not, I was raised Catholic. It was not until I had the experiences of other religions, Muslim. It was the Muslim faith that opened my eyes, because I got real snooty when I got to the nation of Hebrew Israelites. I thought I knew everything. So I got real snooty. But in the midst of that, I met a brother from Islam who introduced me to a book on Sufism and a sheikh. I can't remember the name, but the book was off the chain. You can't let people read your books because you never get them back.
You never get them back.
Yeah, you never get them back. But
guilty.
Yes, ma'am. I'm guilty too. That's why I make it a purpose to give my books away after I read them. It was that introduction into the word of Islam that made me come out of my judgment mode. Because this ain't about you. It has never been about you. This is about the journey that you are experiencing as you are having these experiences with other cultures, with other identities, with other relationships. So as we get back to the Catholic Church matters, the immigrant life matters, a beating heart matters. practicing what I preach. My life matters. Children and bias. The black men matter. Bridging the gap. The life of the homeless person matters. The foster child matters. The disabled individual life matters. The life of the deaf person matters. Lord have mercy. I could go on and on and on, but I'll be talking all day. So let's go to the phone lines. I can't even remember the number. So let's just go. Oh, my lines are open. I'm sorry. I accidentally kicked that call off. Pat Liz, are you still with us?
I am.
I want you to comment a little bit about what I just talked about here. The fact that all of these lives combined matter. And until we stop trying to divide each other by what we think, what we feel, where we live, how we experience life, when we come together, see, they can't hold us anymore. We can't be held in bondage anymore. Yeah. It's the cohesiveness. Wouldn't you agree, ladies?
Yes.
I definitely agree. I wish I could have gotten my best friend Muriel on with us, because when she finally read the book, all she could say was brilliant.
Oh, brilliant! That's the great word for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
And it came from my sister, Mother Earth.
Thank you.
Where else would it come from? See, that's the problem. We don't know who we are. The powers that be, they know. That's why they try to keep us dumbed down. But baby, the cat is out the bag. We know these things. You can't do that to us anymore, because Kelly Manges has brought it to light. Now, where we go from here is up. Yeah, because the food is on the table. How do we disperse the food?
I love it.
It's here.
I love it.
All lives matter, Kelly.
Yes.
I've got to go back to my page 54 of is it 50, 59, teaching tolerance, because we are so quick to, back in the day, you stepped on somebody's shoe and it's like, oh man, I'm sorry. Okay, you go brush it off. You step on somebody's shoe, now they want to shoot you.
Yeah.
You want to shoot me, really, over a dirty gym shoe? Is that it? Your shoe is more important than the conversation we can have between us on how to work this thing out. Take your shoes off, baby. I'll clean them for you. It ain't no problem.
Right.
But, it ain't worth the bullet. I'm sorry. I digress. Teaching tolerance, hidden bias, and education. Okay, somebody's got a show or something on in the background. Am I gonna have to mute everybody? Okay. That's not you, is it?
No.
Kelly? Okay, well, I got to go in here and mute everybody until they disappear. Oh, did you just mute yourself?
You busy? Yes.
Okay, I want to go to page 58. This brings me back to the fact that education is a huge part of the process of getting us to a better place in our tolerance walk. A tolerance walk. I'm sorry, I got to mute folks here because I don't know what's going on. I do not mean just formal education. I mean taking the time to broaden your horizons, jumping out of that comfortable place and into a place of commitment. A commitment to make the world a better place by learning more about people and things we don't understand. It's funny how we can get together and drink and have a good time, but if there's no alcohol involved, there might be an issue. But sometimes alcohol, it makes you tell the truth about things. So I don't know. Yeah. I repeat, I am not talking about formal education. I'm talking about the education that is a result of exposure and experiences with people we know absolutely nothing about. Until we can have, as Iyanla Van Zant would say, until today. We may have not had those conversations, but those conversations can continue because the hidden bias will keep us in a place we don't want to be longer than we want to be there. So sometimes we have to step out of our role of uncomfortability. Shut up, Zelda, let the woman speak, but I got to read this. The hidden bias article goes on to say these shadows hang over stigmatized people no matter what their status or accomplishments. They must remain on guard and bear an additional burden that may affect their self confidence, their performance, and aspirations. These stigmas, and we all have them, have the potential to rob them of their individuality and debilitate their attempts to break out of stereotypical roles. Everyone can agree that one of the answers, once again, is education, exposure, and experience. And until we come out of our comfortability, our comfortable zone, nothing will happen. But that is until today, because today we are making it our business to show up. And Deborah Smith says, blessings to all, and this message, power is an acceptance of others and not be in judgmental of any. Ooh, that's a good one, Deborah. Deborah is our travel agent of the Female Solutions. Her show is on the third Saturday of every month from 12 noon until 2 p.m. Travel with Deborah. So be sure and go back and hear it in the archives. You know, people are traveling now, so there's lots of information, things that we don't know that she gets firsthand. So be sure and go back and listen to that.
But thanks for being here, Deborah.
Yes, Deborah. We appreciate you, girl.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Robbie, RL says truth serum. All right, now teach my sisters. Truth serum. Well, we need some truth, because sometimes we need to, as Les Brown would say, be slapped upside the head with a spiritual 2x4.
Yeah. You know what, Zelda, I'd like to interject. I was walking with my walking buddy, and she was saying that she had a bad experience at her nail shop.
Oh.
And somehow we got into a conversation, and I said, are they Vietnamese? And she said, Kelly, I don't know that. They're Asian. I don't know if they're Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese. I said, well, when I was going to the nail shop, I was with a group of people who were Vietnamese. She said, how did you know that? I said, I asked them. You know, I'm not sure of your nationality. Are you? They were very open. And I also learned that one of the sisters, because after, starting to ask them things about their culture, I noticed that they didn't give each other eye contact when they were talking. And I said, I noticed that when you're talking to your sister or your brother, you don't look at them. And she said, it is rude in Vietnamese culture to look somebody in the eye.
Really?
Yes. And then we talked about how here, if you don't look a person in the eye, they are not trusting. And so we just have to start asking people. It's okay. They'll be okay with it. And start learning about different cultures. Start making our Facebook page more colorful.
Yes.
And more diverse. Yes. And not, it's hard. It's not easy. But we can do it.
Yes, we can.
We can do it.
Wow. Wow. And it's right in alignment with what you said about the Asian culture, because the executive producer of the Female Solution, Naima Latif, her daughter was living in Korea, and she went to see her, and she talked about the experience that she had. Her plane got there late at night, and she didn't know where she was going, and so she wound up in this like a little strip mall. Mm-hmm. That's where her daughter was staying, near a strip mall, and she just got kind of turned around, and it's at night. No lights on the street, so it's like she's walking down a dark alley. But all the vendors are there and they're friendly. And this guy comes out. No, she asked this vendor how to get to this place. And this man, Korean, who spoke very little English, guided her in the direction of where she was going just because she asked the question. She wasn't afraid to ask the question.
Yeah.
And she made it there safely. And she was just enamored by the fact that there were no guns, there were no police, and she's out at midnight in a dark alley. And this man comes out of nowhere and shows her daughter's house where she needs to go.
Wow. So, nice.
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
But we got to take the first step.
Yeah.
We got to take the first step.
And when we misunderstand someone, ask questions.
Yes.
Ask questions.
It is never, ever too late to ask questions. When you ask questions, you show your intelligence. What's the old Chinese proverb about keep your mouth closed and remain ignorant or something? You tell people how intelligent you are. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's something to that effect. If you keep your mouth closed, nobody will ever know, but you open up your mouth and you just sound real crazy. Something like that. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
No, I get it.
But ask the question. If it makes you look silly, so what? We at the point in our lives, I just don't care. Okay. Yeah. If I look silly, oh well, I just look silly. Let's have some fun with it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you just joined the conversation, it is 8:30 a.m. and it is time for our next commercial break here. You'd love to call in 515-605-9325. And remember to please press 1 to speak. And Pat or Patricia, if I am not going to open the lines back up until I see a text from you saying that you want to speak, because I keep getting a lot of noise in the background and we don't want to have that. So we're going to take our last commercial break and we are going to come back. And so you stay close. Tell somebody to join in for this last 30 minutes. They'll be glad they did. So stay close.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry. You are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure to send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to ZeldaSpeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's ZeldaSpeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit ZeldaSpeaks.com.
Oh, man. God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill.
Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
And we are back with our last half hour of the author, Kelly Manges. All Lives Matter, right here on The Female Solution. If you'd like to join the conversation, we'd love to have you. 591. I almost said 591 V103. You know.
Uh-oh.
Back in the day.
That's okay. They don't mind a little advertising.
I used to be on the Troy Tyler show on V103, my book, Inspirational Conversations with Troy Tyler, with Zelda Robinson on Troy Tyler. Lord have mercy. The number just.
I know.
Anyway, be sure to tune in tomorrow. Let's talk Susan Essentials with Jody Susan. Self-care with Jody Susan on Wednesday. Naima Latif and Kareem Hamid, Repairing Family Relationships on Thursday. It's the Women's Roundtable. So maybe we can do a Thursday show too. I'll speak to our executive producer, Naima Latif. She usually comes on at 9:00 with me here, and we do the after show. I haven't heard from her this morning. I'd have to check my mail. Anyway, we may be doing the after show at 9:00. Thursday, that's the Women's Roundtable. Friday, Health and Wellness with Viata. On Saturdays, first Saturday, Nonviolent Communication with Jana, our correspondent from London, England. On Tuesday, Self-Care. And I'm sorry, I said that already. I'm so excited. I can't get back to this book quick enough. You see, I got all these things rolling around in my head. I got the page marks and everything. Anyway, second Saturday is... I can't think. This book just has me in awe. Who's the second Saturday, Naima? I can't think right now. I'll read that to you at the end of the show. How about that? But be sure and listen to last night's show, Soul Purpose Healing with Viata. You can listen to any of the shows. They're in the archive 24/7. So all you have to do is go to blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution, or go to my YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV Show. And you can always see that. And you'll be able to share this link once the show is over with. But I got to get back to, there's so much information. Yeah, you got to come back because I got all these pages marked and we got to talk about it. We haven't talked about a few of them. On page 72, this is crucial, girl. I grew up in the house with that same grandmother who said things like, don't you dare look at me like that when I'm talking to you. I wanted to shout out, says Kelly, how am I looking at you? And because I didn't know how I was looking at her, it was safer for me not to look at her when she was talking to me. In fact, I stopped looking at everyone when they talk to me. Talk about the Asian culture, right? These are the remnants of racism. It would take another book to point it all out. But speak on that for just a moment. And I know you to be a fact because when I lived down south at the age of 10, 11, somewhere around there, and I went to live with my aunt. I lived here in Chicago. My mom died and I had to go live south, live with an aunt. And my auntie told me the first thing when I got there, do not look a white man in his face when he's talking to you. Absolutely. Put your head down. No, so I understand why people look down when they talk. I get it.
And you know what?
You get that at home from your grandmother.
Yeah.
The woman who loves you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, it was she was born in 1906 in Alabama. And so, you know, let that marinate for a while.
Yeah.
Alabama, 1906.
Yeah.
Slavery still hanging in the air. Racism is off the chain. I am sure as a young person, my grandmother had to deal with people saying to her time and time again, don't you dare look me in the eye when I'm talking to you.
Ma'am.
And I have a friend who is the same age I am. When he was 15, and I'm saying that because it wasn't that long ago, it wasn't 1906 or 1910, he said he looked his employer in the face when he was talking to him, and the man slapped his face and told him, don't you ever look me in the eye when I'm talking to you.
Ooh.
And, you know, people, I just want people to know that there is a lot of, the woman wrote the book, PTS, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome.
Joy,
Now,
Dr. Joy.
people will come against that whole attitude.
Yes.
But we are in the midst of it. And maybe we're doing better, but we're still suffering.
Yes, we are.
All you need to do, if you live in Chicago, is go over to Cook County Jail and see that out of the 10,000 men in there, 9,000 of them are Black and brown. But don't get me started. I digress.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're in the midst of it. And as a result of my grandmother bringing that racism into our household, we learned that it wasn't a good idea to look anyone in the eye when they spoke to us.
And that has gone on down through the generations.
It's generational.
And I know what you speak to be true, because on the campaign trail with Dr. Willie Wilson on this last one, actually all of the campaign trails when he was running for president, mayor, and everything else that he's ran for. And when we did I was a part of the media group that assisted him in the homeless donations. He was giving away money to people who weren't getting stimulus checks, so they need money too. So, and at the press conference, I would always notice that when he did not look directly at the camera, a lot of times he looked down, and people in his camp were always mentioning this to him, and they may or may not see it as a superior or inferior complex in his mind, but you don't understand where this man has been, what he has lived, and what you would get killed. A Black man would be murdered, lynched on the spot.
Absolutely.
If you look at white people in the eye.
Absolutely.
So it has nothing to do with his self-esteem. Don't get it twisted. This is a survival tactic.
Yeah.
And that makes the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things have changed now. Yeah. But as you showed in the book, Granny, that experience is embedded in her consciousness. It's now embedded in your consciousness and my consciousness, because it is generational. And where's the therapy? We're talking about
exactly.
Where's the therapy?
I agree.
We have not sat and had conversations about it. Why? Because everybody pushes it up under the rug. We rather go shopping.
Yep.
And that's not going to help us.
Yeah, and we're still experiencing trauma from slavery today.
Every day.
Because our parents and our grandparents, it's generational, and it keeps perpetuating, and we need to work on discussing it so we can stop it. Zelda, I still have to force myself. I find my eyes dropping. I have to say to myself, look at the person.
Yes.
Look at the person. And if a person's talking to me, and I'll say to people sometimes, I got this little issue. When I'm talking to you, I'm completely focused. The minute you start talking to me, my eyes might drop. There's a reason for that, but I'm working on it.
Yes. You are conscious of it.
You
are conscious of it, and you are awakening. And that is the purpose of this experience, is to have an awakening. It's not about blame and shame.
No, not at all.
Pat, if you want to chime in, send me a text and I'll open up your line. It is our responsibility, us as individuals, to not put that focus on out there, but what's going on in here. Like you said, you caught yourself.
Yeah.
And the thought came to you, say, look up. This is not about my self-esteem. This is about the conditioning that has been in me over my life. All my life. So I commend you, my sister, for having that consciousness, because many of us are not awake, but as Ian Levine would say, until today.
Until today. I love it.
Because of your experience of writing this book, All Lives Matter, we are having the conversation, and you can have the conversation too. Because you know what? This needs to be the weekly meeting at the dinner table. See, Big Mama gone. Big Mama out of my family is gone now. So somebody got to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
And we can't wait on the next generation to do it. Pat said, okay, sent one. Okay, gotcha. I'll open up the line, Pat. Thank you. We got to have this conversation, because if we don't, things are going to get worse. Yep. And we see that already, because it's happening every single day. Oh, we've got some comments here. I keep forgetting to look at the comments, so let's go to the comments.
Okay.
Deborah Smith says, ask open-ended questions and be understanding of the answers. It is still unsure what you need in the answer. If still unsure of what you need in the answer, ask again, restate, build a relationship, be it brief or long lasting. Good point, Deborah. Thank you.
Deborah, I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. And she shares those words of wisdom on her show on these. I got it right here. I found it. Where is she? Travel with Deborah. Third Saturday. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And Viata, thank you very much. Health and well-being with Viata on Friday mornings. Matter of fact, let me just give the rundown for the whole show. Tuesday morning, self-care with Jody Susan. Wednesday, Naima Latif and Kareem Hamid, repairing family relationships. On Thursday, it's the Women's Roundtable. On Friday, health and well-being with Viata. And Saturday, rotating host will be first Saturday, nonviolent communication with Jana, our correspondent from London, England. She's a sister. She just has that lovely accent. And the second Saturday, Black Taboo with Love, Joy, and Powers. Third Saturday, Travel with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, never least, Wisdom with Mama D. Baby, if you ain't tuned in on Saturdays, the fourth Saturday with Wisdom with Mama D, you will be pleasantly surprised. Sister's a Leo too, so I know a few things about that. Anyway, and Sunday, it's Soul Purpose Healing with Viata. Naima Latif says she will be joining us by phone this morning. Naima will be tuning in by phone. And Sunday, Soul Purpose Healing with Viata, 7 p.m. That's not in the morning. That's 7 p.m. Till 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, because she's in Florida. So just want to share that with you. And then we're back here Monday morning mindfulness on Blog Talk Radio. Let's get some more comments. There is R.L. Smith says a second segment on this book, and Kelly will be great. Oh, baby, it's going to be monthly. We're going to have this conversation monthly. When she's not touring and finding, if she can find some quiet space early in the morning, if we got to record something, we can do that too, because this is the table. This Big Mama table. We need to do that. I am a fan, Zelda. And you are so awesome, and your skin is flawless. Oh, girl, thank you very much. Ooh, praise, hallelujah. Ooh. Y'all don't know what I went through this morning to kind of look like this. That's a whole nother story. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ariel. Greatly appreciate you. Let's get one more comment in here. Deborah says, wow, I am different, and I taught my children to look a person in the face. If you look away or look down, I feel you aren't paying attention. Oh, okay. That's some little food for thought. Didn't think about that. All right. We are about to end the show, but before we do, I want Kelly. Oh my God, the lines are lit up. These people gonna have it. Let me take some calls here. 336-350. You're live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising. What's your name? Where you calling from, and what's your comment? Thanks for joining us.
This is Paris, Mama AZ.
Hey, Mama AZ.
I tuned in late. I'm in the hospital.
Oh.
Had a really rough night, and but anyway, I wanted to know what is the subject about. I can't go up on the thing because my phone is not working. It won't let me go to the internet.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Mama AZ is a regular caller, Kelly, and she's having health issues, and she always calls. She's a regular caller, calls in every Monday morning. And Mama AZ today's.
Let me do this.
Okay.
Family.
Okay.
Let me give you my hospital room number because I want to know what's up with the information, so anybody can call me. And the number is 520 694 3400, and I'm in room 211, and the extension to get to my room is 52211. So please call me. Now, who is your guest? Who is the guest? And are you an author?
Yes, she is.
Tell me.
Mama AZ, we're talking to author Kelly Manges of All Lives Matter. It's an awesome book. She is pretty much in alignment with everything that you usually call in and share with us on Monday mornings. This is an awesome book, and you have got to have it. It will bring peace to your soul. You will forget about your aches and pains, if only temporary, Mama AZ. And just to let you know that we are praying for you, my sister. We always mention you, and the fact that you are even able to call in this morning lets us know the power of prayer. So thank you for not giving up on yourself, because we have not given up on you. You are part of the female solution. We love you. We appreciate you. And for those who want to call you, in case you did not hear the number, she is in Arizona. Mama AZ, her number is 520 694 3400, and her room is 2211, but her extension is 5211. So if you would like to call Mama AZ and have a conversation with a powerful sister, she a bad sister.
No, sister, it's 5211. That's 52211.
Extension 52211. Okay, Mama AZ.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, I'll keep listening.
All right.
Thank us.
All right. Thank you so much, Mama AZ.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Mama AZ.
Yes, ma'am.
Wanda says, I'm listening. I grew up in the generation of looking a person in the eye. It is second nature for me to look a person in the eye when I am doing business. I can tell if they are genuine or full of something.
And you know what, Zelda, I'm glad she said that, because now that you've heard the show, I hope that you'll be more mindful, because it doesn't mean, I think we're trying to point out that it doesn't mean that you can't trust them or that they're full of something. It might mean that they grew up being told, do not look at me in the face. Do not look at me like that when I'm speaking to you.
Right.
So yeah, we're just trying to bring that out. And people do think that you don't look at them, that they can't trust you, or you're full of something. But we want to look past that and ask questions.
Right.
We're back to asking questions, like Deborah said.
Right.
And if we don't understand, ask more questions.
Right. We need to ask those questions. Let's try to get a few more calls before we end the show. Area code 773-977. You are live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Lois here in Chicago.
Hey, Lois.
This morning, it's just so good for us all to be alive, and thank God Mama AZ called in. We're all praying for Mama AZ. And I just wanted to comment on our subject for today. And I remember my father telling me he's from Vidalia, Louisiana, and Dad said that when they walked down the street, you had better not look in a white man's face. If you saw a white man coming, he said they had to look toward the ground.
Yes.
He said if you didn't, they put your eyes out, or you better not look at the white person's face. That's what I wanted to say for today. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Oh, God bless you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Lois. We appreciate that because you hit the nail right on the head. Let's see if we can get another call in 336-350. You're live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? 336-350. Okay.
It's me, sister.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. All righty, Mama AZ. You hang in there. 312-213. 312-213. You're live on the Female Solution. Okay, maybe you got stuck. All righty now. It is almost that time, 8:54. We got about 3 minutes left. And I want you to share with our listening and viewing audience, Kelly, why it is important that they continue the process of not just reading this book, but sharing this book, because there are lessons in here that you're not going to get anywhere else. You've had experience, you've had the life. So this is wisdom from a sister. Mother can tell you a few things you're not going to get in any other book because they don't want you to know the truth. This is truth, baby. This is truth here. If you want some truth, this is what you need. All lives matter. This ain't a black thing. This ain't a brown thing. This ain't a green thing. This is a human thing.
Yeah.
This is a life thing. All lives matter. Period. Take it away, Kelly.
Yeah. And until we begin to see cohesiveness as the answer, when we begin to see that we're stronger together than separate, when we begin to stop alienating people by being so prideful about who we are. You know, sometimes I hesitate, and I'm going to be brief, but I hesitate. I am directed by God.
Amen.
But the reason why I hesitate to advertise that is because I don't want the Buddhists to feel alienated. I don't want atheists to feel alienated. I don't want the Wiccan to feel alienated. I want you to just want to share who I am. And whatever happens during that time will be beautiful. And before I go, if it's okay, Zelda, I'd just like to give out my website address.
Absolutely.
So people can visit. It's All Lives Matters with an S on matters.org. So alllivesmatter.org. And I would also hope that you guys will look for my book at the beginning of 2022. Am I My Sister's Keeper? And it will be about the mental health state that our nation is in. Thank you for having me, Zelda. Thank you so much. I had such a great time.
And girl, this is not the last time you have got.
Thank you.
Did I get this right? Alllivesmatter.org, or is it Matters?
There's an S on Matters, yes.
Okay, so let me go back and change it. And you want to give out any other information while I'm trying to figure this out here?
Just visit the website. And of course, I'd like for you to read the book, of course, and look for my new book, Am I My Sister's Keeper, next year, 2022.
Oh, so we have to have a launch here on the Female Solution. We've got to have you on so people will know. Now, do I have
Thank you, Zelda.
Alllivesmatters.org.
Yeah. Yeah.
My sister, I am honored to know and to have been in the company of a mind such as yours. I know they exist, but you just don't meet them every day. And the things that you did, we didn't even really get a chance to talk about. We talked about it, but we didn't really talk about you and what really drew you to this. Yeah, we touched on it, but we didn't really talk about it. So we gotta come back and we gotta
thank you
in depth. Because our childhood determines our adulthood. And R.L. Smith says post reviews. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. As long as you go back here, you got to go to this website, alllivesmatters.org. I am going to play our thank you ending for the show, but that does not mean you have to leave. But I just want you to hear it. That is the voice of our executive producer who will be joining us for the after show. You can stay for the after show
We've
too.
come to the end of our show today, but you can hear every show in the archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution.
And push 1 right now if you
also
want to
hear
speak.
today's
For
show
those who are on the
Female Solution
switchboard.
Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com.
And we're going to, I love this part. We're going to speak in all the languages.
Listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world,
Wanna do it with me, Kelly?
we say thank you. To our family in China, 谢谢. India,
Ranyaban.
Japan, arigato.
Arigato.
Korea, kamsahamnida.
Kamsahamnida.
Russia, spasiba.
Spasiba.
Germany, danke.
Okay.
Poland, dziękuję.
Dziękuję.
France, merci.
Merci.
Spain, gracias.
Gracias.
Italy, grazie.
Gracias.
Egypt, shukran.
Shukran.
Medasi,
Medasi.
Nigeria, eshe.
Ese.
South Africa, Ngiyabonga.
Ngiyabonga.
Senegal, Jared.
Jared.
Kenya, asante.
Asante.
Israel, Toda.
Toda.
Pakistan, shukriya.
Shukriya.
Afghanistan, tashakur.
Tashakur.
Saudi Arabia, shukran.
Shukran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Push now. Push 1 now if you want to speak on the after show. Thank you so much. My star. And
thank you.
Kelly Manges. We are going to the phone line for the after show now. We're live on the after show. So if you leave, if you have to leave, I understand.
I do. And so I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And like R.L. Smith said, please put reviews on Amazon and Barnes & Noble for me, and I'd appreciate it.
Well, you know what? I need to make a note of that right now because I have a tendency to not have that at top of mind when I get off the air. So let's do reviews. Hey, wake up, Ink Pen. Reviews on Amazon.com.
Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble. And
there's other venues if you just Google the name of the book.
Okay. There it is right there. alllivesmatter.org. It is, as Les Brown would say, it's been a plump, pleasing pleasure, well as a privilege. Thank y'all here.
Feeling is mutual. See you later, Zelda. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We'll chat.
All righty.
All righty now. We are now in the after show with my sister of the microphone, and that would be Naima Latif. Grand Rising, Naima. Thank you for joining us today. I don't know where she is. Where you at, girl? Naimah. I know her basement was flooded, so she could not join via the website because of flooding. What can I say? But I have some comments here. And I'm looking for the website. Yes, she did say alllivesmatters.org. And she must be having other difficulties too. Did I take this call? 773-977? 773-977?
Yes, you did. You took me out. This is Lois.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lois. I'm waiting for I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Lois. What were you saying, dear?
No, I was saying that you called me already.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting for Naima to pick up. I know she was having some difficulties this morning. So I'm going to leave the microphone open and hopefully she will pick up. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask you to go to the Amazon website and order your book, All Lives Matter. And if you want to avoid shipping and handling and all that stuff, you can very easily go to the name there, right there on the screen, allivesmatters.org. Because there is just so much. I can't wait to have her back because, like I said, I got up to page 100, and there is got up to 107, and there's 207 pages, and this book really needs to be in the lives of anyone who can read. She needs to do an audio book too, because I think you'll really enjoy that. I know I'm enjoying reading. I like audio and I can appreciate it, but there's a kinetic connection between the eye and the brain and the heart and the soul and the spirit when you read. So that's why reading is fundamental. You have got to make that connection. And you can make that connection every day right here on the Female Solution. And that will be sure you tune in tomorrow with Self Care with Jody Susan. And on Wednesday, Naima Latif with Kareem Hamid, Repairing Family Relationships. You know, it took me a minute to get that Kareem Hamid. I was saying everything but his name, but I finally got it. You know, sometimes we have to practice a little bit because we think we have the words down and we really don't. Okay, we just don't have it down. And that was Wednesday. Thursday is the Women's Roundtable. And Friday is Health and Wellness. Excuse me, Health and Well-Being with Viata. Health and Well-Being with Viata, my sister from another mister. And on Saturdays, we have Rotating Host every Saturday from 12 noon until 2 p.m., 12 until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. First Saturday is Nonviolent Communication with Jana. Second Saturday is The Black Taboo with Love, Joy, and Powers. And the third Saturday is Travel with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. 12 noon until 1 p.m. right here on The Female Solution. And on Sunday, it's Soul Purpose Healing with Viata. 7 Central Standard Time until 9 Central Standard Time. So go back and listen to last night's show if you didn't see it. I promise you'll be glad you did. And be sure and join us this Saturday for the round 7 of the virtual Global Teen Talent Contest. You can support our youth by sharing this information, and it will be broadcast live on our Facebook show, Facebook channel, facebook.com, HLN TV show, and our YouTube channel. You see that HLN, you know you're at the right place. It's youtube.com, Higher Learning TV show. Now, for the children, young adults who would like to participate, they can submit a 1 minute, 60-second video clip of them singing, dancing, spoken word, whatever talent they have, and send that in. We need to be able to see you and your face. Some of them you couldn't see. So it's like, okay, you need to redo this one, sweetie. And you can also send a separate video of about 10 or 15 seconds, just saying who you are and what you're going to do and why you're doing it. So you can send that video clip. You got to send it in through YouTube though. Okay. And send us the link to your YouTube video. Send it to HLN TV show. That's short for Higher Learning TV show. But everybody's got a short attention span now. So it's Higher Learning TV show. And that's the after show with Naima Latif. And doesn't look like she can join us. So I've got appointments today. And I hope you have something very special to do today. And whatever you do, to remember to breathe in. When folks get on your nerve,
Can you hear me now?
And breathe out. And there's Naima Latif on the after show, loud and clear. And Naima Latif, take it away, girl.
Oh my, yes. Been a bit of a challenge. I just got a new phone, so I'm switching phones. Got the iPhone 12, and you know how it is. We got to try to figure out how to work our smartphone.
Yes, you do. And, congratulations.
So yes, but this was a powerful show today, and what it is an example of is the fact that we are living in times of transformation. The world is changing because we are awakening to a new reality, and we as a human family are choosing to live according to a higher consciousness, which means, as your guest book says, all lives matter. Mm-hmm. So we're changing systems that create inequality or distress among certain people. We're changing systems of belief that say some people deserve to suffer because of how they look or if they don't have enough money. We're changing all of the ways we used to think, that we've been programmed to think. So those people who are in tune, who of course chose to be born for this purpose, to be here at this time, are receiving inspirations to create the kinds of books that your guest created, to change our thoughts. And so we're seeing a new thought arise. And that means that we're choosing not to comply with the old ways that were hurtful, that were unloving, that were abusive. We're choosing not to comply with that anymore. We're choosing not to agree to allow ourselves to be abused anymore. We're choosing to take back our power. So as that happens, we'll continue to see new creations. We'll continue to see collective activities where people as a group will decide not to comply with something that's being forced upon them that they've been complying with perhaps for generations. So this is a powerful time to be alive.
Yes, it is.
And we're even changing the way we raise our children. Because as we talked about, and you know, what Lois brought up about how in the, you know, the whole system of inequality, and we had agreed for so long to act like we were inferior at fear of the threat of some type of either torture or death. And then at some point we decided we're not doing that anymore. We're not going to comply with that anymore. Because body language, and you can look at it in the animal kingdom, body language says who's dominant and who's submissive. So looking somebody in the eye is a direct challenge. It says, I am equal to you, and I am not going to allow you to dominate me. So it's considered a challenge, particularly among males. So it's the same thing. In the South, you were supposed to drop your eyes.
Yes, ma'am.
In the presence of a white person that was saying, I am submitting to you. I am your inferior. You are my superior. So those who didn't do that, they might have been subjected to threats of lynching or actual lynching. So it was meant to reinforce the idea of you people are inferior. We are your superiors. Always behave in a way that lets us know you understand and agree to be inferior.
You hit the
so everything now that we used to agree to and comply with and allow to happen, we're not doing that anymore. We're not allowing it anymore. We're not agreeing to participate in our degradation anymore. We've decided all lives matter.
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, we're not going to continue to comply even with rules and regulations that enforce inequality. And I think the most powerful thing we can do is to sit on the show. If we can decide on which organizations we're going to financially support that are working towards providing for people who have been neglected or unfairly excluded from opportunities to take care of themselves, people who've been homeless, people who've been without food, people who've been without medical care and health care, we're going to choose to empower them with health, wellness, food, housing, and those organizations that have been formed to take care of that, we're going to choose to support those organizations so that we can create an equality across the board. Mm-hmm. Everybody's life matters. Everybody should have what they need to survive. Everybody should have good, healthy food to eat. Everybody should have access to knowledge and skills, whatever they want to learn. So we're going to remove all of these systems that exclude people from opportunities in order to create that false sense of superiority among some people at the expense of other people. Now, of course, doing that means you get some resistance from people who've been used to having that artificial superiority, and that's what we're seeing, the resistance. We're seeing people who don't want things to change because they feel better at being able to feel better than other people. They're the ones who are not willing to change the systems that need to be broken. And the wonderful thing about this pandemic is that we saw what happens when you have masses of people not shopping. That means everybody gets impoverished. Everybody's business crumbles. Everybody, the playing field gets equal because nobody has anything because nobody's able to come out and do anything. So what does that tell us? Where the power really is? It's in the power. The power is in the hands of the collective body of people. So if we decide, and I'm going to throw this idea out there. If we decide as a collective body that we don't agree to allowing people to be cast out of their home and into the street because they don't have money to pay, if we don't agree that people are denied medical care because they don't have money to pay and they're allowed to suffer and die, if we don't agree that we're going to allow people to be without food because they don't have money to buy groceries, if we agree that we're not going to support that thought, that some people's lives don't matter, then we as a collective can say, look, until our government that we have put in position takes care of these people, we're going to stop shopping. We're going to stay in our homes, eat our food that we have saved up, stockpiled, or whatever. But we're not going to buy a single thing as a collective body. We're going to shut down the entire nation until the people that we have elected to serve in the interest of the people find a way to make sure everybody, every single person has what they need to live.
Wow.
And if you can't do that, then everybody will have nothing until you can figure it out.
Wow.
And we have the collective power to do that because we just saw it happen.
Wow. Now that, my sister, speaks volumes. Woo! Because we are the ones who control it, but we don't even know we control it. That's the sad part about it. We got our sister Viata on the line. Viata, I'm opening up your line as we speak. Join the conversation, our sister of the microphone, on Friday mornings, health and well-being, and Sunday nights, soul purpose healing. Welcome, Viata.
Grand Rising sisters, wonderful show. Oh my goodness, that woman is really so significant in these times where Black Lives Matter is being dismantled, actually, because so many people are realizing their deep agenda to dismantle the family, for one. So interesting how her book has come out at this time when we so need to promote love for every face on the planet. It's all about love. I'm finding more and more that's the root of childhood trauma, that people didn't get enough love in their childhood. I have someone in my life who's 75 years old, and he had a trauma in his childhood that he shared with me that was so devastating for him. And even at 75, he is blaming everybody for his situation where he's homeless now.
Oh.
And he refuses to look at things the way we do on the Female Solution. Number one, karma and reincarnation, and that you're not a victim. So he's walking around spewing out violent words, cursing people out. 75 years old now, and now he's homeless. And I understand about, we don't want anybody to suffer, but I keep trying to implant in his mind that if you could just stop planting violent words and behavior in people's ears that your situation might change. But he is really stubborn about shifting the words that come out of his mouth and the thought that I'm a victim, simply because he was traumatized as a child. So my job has been to just show love to him in as much as I can, in ways that I can, in my own personality. So some people need to suffer because they're not coming out of the understanding that you're going to reap what you sow if you keep killing people with your words and your behavior is not respectful. So that's one point I want to make. The other point was, I made a comment about children, parents not listening to children. I have a grandchild, and Zelda knows this child. My grandson proclaimed that he's a vegetarian. Now, he'll be 5. He'll be 5 tomorrow. I think tomorrow, yeah. And he went to his dad and said, I want to be a vegetarian. Jonah is very strong-willed. You got to listen to this boy because he says things and he means it. Do you know that his dad is still pushing the chicken and the beef and all the other things? And I'm like, that's what I meant with my comment earlier about parents not listening to their children. They're so in their ego, because what it means to me when a 4-year-old says, I want to be a vegetarian, you got to change your behavior as a parent. You cannot be buying chicken, and beef all the time. You got to start thinking, how can I help him be a vegetarian?
Right.
So as a grandma, it's been frustrating for me, but I realize this millennial generation, for the most part, is so in their ego, and that's why I made that comment earlier, that all they can think about is making money and having a nice house and a car. Many of them, not all of them. The sister last night, she's really on another role. But that's my comment about paying attention to children at any age, because these are some powerful souls in the 4-year-old body.
I'm telling you.
And I think it's our job as grandparents, mothers, to pay attention. What are they saying? And then help them produce whatever comes out of their mouth if it's positive and going to help them live a better. Because this is a child who's been constipated. My grandson had so many serious problems with him. I mean, he wouldn't have a bowel movement for days. And I'm like telling myself, listen, you got to do something about it. Oh, he'll be okay. And then for him to proclaim, I want to be a vegetarian, that just spoke to deep to my mind, my soul. Okay, this child is waking up. He's listening to his body. And you parents need to wake up too and help them. So anyway, that's my comment for the morning.
That's powerful, Viata. At the age of 5, he's determined that
I'm telling you.
Wow. I wish I had been that awakened at the age of 5. Good Lord.
Me too.
Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea what prompted that?
Well, me for one, because every time they at grandma's house, I promote and don't eat animals. And every time I sat down with them, they went, well, why don't you like chicken? Why don't you? I don't eat animals. I give them a little sermon about why I don't like to eat animals. So I don't know if their mother, they're divorced. So I don't know if their mother, I don't think their mother's a meat eater too. So I don't know. Maybe there are other people in their life who've been planting that seed. But I'm sure grandma is part of the awakening. I wouldn't take full responsibility, but I know I'm part of that way, because every time they're with grandma, they know grandma don't eat. And in fact, they call me nature of the future. That's what they gave me that name, because I've been promoting vegetarian and nature and all that yoga, and they're starting to do their own yoga now. So slowly but surely, kids are waking up, but their parents are interfering with their awakening.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least slowing it down. I say slowing it down, because the spirit and the universe will have its way with them, but the parents are like, they're kind of slow to catch on.
Well, they may be ahead of their time, and that's okay too, and we appreciate them being ahead of their time. Wow. I need to get back down there so I can learn something from them babies.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. Trust me, I'm working on it as we speak. Yes, ma'am. Naima, you still there? Jasmine and Jonah, right?
Yeah.
Well, please give Jonah my love and tell him I'll be down there to have a veggie burger with him.
Oh, He'll love that. Thank you, Zelda.
And let's not leave Jasmine out because we don't want her to think anything. We're playing partial or favorites or anything like that. You know how kids can be.
Oh yeah, so, she's cool. She's cool.
Yeah. And be sure and tell them. Go ahead, Naima.
Go ahead. You were gonna say.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we're going to see more of that, more young people who are choosing a different kind of diet because they are instinctively preparing their bodies to become of a higher vibration. And we know that, a vegetarian diet creates a higher vibration. So they're preparing themselves for the transformation that the earth itself is going through. And, sometimes parents they're stuck where they're at. We evolve over lifetime, and people are going to get to the highest level they can get in this lifetime. And then after their transition, they'll continue growing in the next lifetime. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard for people who haven't accepted the reality that we continue living, even though they, go to religious services that speak of eternal life, but they still get what that means. That means you're always here. Right. You're always going to be here. You're always going to be learning. The learning never stops. So you're going to learn as much as you can from the lessons that you got in this life. Some people have already reached the limit of where they can grasp. They've already reached the limit of where they can go, of how much they can comprehend, of how much they're willing to accept. And no matter what you say, they can't go any further in this life. Mm. So you just have to realize that they have reached their limit in this life. They will continue learning in the next life. They're going to have a different life experience that helps them understand in ways they couldn't get it in this life, in the body that they're in now, and the identity that they have now. They've gotten as far as they can go. So they're going to have a different life experience and a different kind of body, maybe a different kind of family, maybe a different kind of culture. But what they couldn't get here in this life, they're going to continue learning in the next life. So,
do you think that applies to animals too, Naima?
Oh, animals have understood so much more than people. Because you have to understand, animals are able to still maintain their telepathic communication. We're the ones who lost ours. So it's like being in a room with a bunch of people. Everybody's got a cell phone, and you don't have one, or you have one, but you don't know how to work yours. So everybody's texting each other. You don't hear any conversation. Everybody's texting each other. And then all of a sudden, everybody gets up and leaves. You wonder, what happened? Well, they all were talking, let's go to the store. Let's go to the movie. So they're all conversing. You're all talking to each other. We're the ones that are not tuned in. So animals know that when they transition, they have other lives. They know that this life is just a step in the process of growth and evolution, and that we all have different kinds of lives. So death for them is not as traumatic because they know it's not the end. We're the ones who are disconnected from the source. We're the ones who created religions that actually blocked our spiritual growth instead of enhanced it. We're the ones who actually made lies, and lived it as if it was the truth. As if, some people are better than others. God hates some people. Some people need to suffer. We're the ones who created that. That's not reality. We created that. So therefore, we disconnected ourselves from the communication with all life. And if we were communicating with all life, the way some people are relearning, the plants, the animals, the whole kingdom that exists, that's all connected to the Creator, those who are in tune, they're making different choices about how they live because they don't want to do any harm to anyone. They don't want to misuse anyone. They don't want to damage themselves because they realize that they are an expression of the Creator. So the way they live is a reflection of that understanding. So animals evolve just like we do. And human beings, we keep telling ourselves, we're at the top, we're the most intelligent. No, we're not. We're a species that has chosen to live in a state of amnesia about the Creator, and we're gradually finding our way back. but it's a struggle because for how many centuries have we lived in a state of deception where people had us so frightened about dying because we believe there's only one life that we agreed to accept being abused because we thought we didn't have any other choice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think it's a matter of attachment when people get really sad and depressed when animals are leaving or people are leaving. The big cat around here is dying, and my two people are just crying and just really upset about this cat that's dying, and I'm like, it's a cat. I'm feeling a little guilty, but then I'm not crying, but I just don't attach to animals like some people do. And they're just really weepy around here because the big cat, I don't know if you guys remember the big boy, the big white and black cat. He's been sick for about a week or two, and now he's near death. And everybody's crying, and I'm like, I think even with our own people close to us, my sister, for one, the attachment that she had with her daughter was why her breast reacted with cancer, and how so many people are attached, I mean, mentally, physically, to people and animals that they have a hard time with death. What do you think?
Wow.
Well, one of the things that I do with people that may be going through the grief process, especially if they have lost a spouse, because that's of course a very deep attachment. But what I discovered is that the person's never gone. What I discovered is that you can remain attached, you can remain connected, you can keep communicating if you know how to tune into that person's energy. Mm-hmm. So the book that I wrote was totally ended up being an autobiographical piece, totally by accident, but it evolved into that. The book, Visits from the Dream State, it kind of shows people how to reattach to that person who is now living in spirit, so that you're not grieving because they're not gone. And life always exists. So no one is ever gone, but they may have moved to a different dimension, which requires a different way for you to tune into them. But they're still in existence. So no one's gone. There's no need to grieve because they still exist. The energy that was their life force energy, it still exists. So the book actually gives people instructions on how to reconnect to that person who has transitioned. And to understand that when you're in an altered state, such as in the dream state, that's when you can actually meet with and talk to those people, because that's when your soul does leave your body. Every night, your soul leaves your body. Your body sleeps, your soul is always living. So we're having adventures all the time, out of body. We don't realize that's what it is. So understanding life and the fact that life is ever existing would help us to not grieve. Now the cat knows. The cat is aware that the cat's energy is simply leaving the body, but the cat knows that it's going to continue existing. People don't know that. So now I had a dog that we were very close to, Duchess, and when she transitioned, years and years ago as a child, her ghost came back, visited me. I heard the sound of her paws, steps on the floor, the little clicking sound her nails would make. She had, nails. You could hear her walking, and she came and put her head on the bed next to me, like she used to always do when she was in body. So, I think that animals don't have souls. Why would we believe that? Everything has a soul. Everything is a soul. So, yes, the love that you have for an animal friend might be just as strong as you would have for a human friend or a human family member, because they are part of your family. And yeah, you do grieve when they pass, but they also are still living just like our human relations.
And
we will see them again in the afterlife.
Yeah, as you were talking, that humans attach to animals because they get unconditional love from these animals.
Yeah.
And I think that, again, it goes back to childhood traumas. Like one of the people who is so grieved right now about this had a childhood trauma where the father left her, the brother was treating her bad. And so she attaches to animals a lot around here. And I'm thinking it's not really the animals that need her, she needs the animals because they're giving her what she didn't get as a child. And so when they're leaving, they're like, oh my goodness, that love is going again. That's what I was thinking as you were talking. That's why they're so depressed and sad about this animal dying. I'm like, it's a cat. Get over it. No, don't say that.
But she's not going to get over it. You never get over what you love. But she should get another animal who can give her unconditional love.
We don't need another one. No, we got plenty of cats around here for her. We don't need any more cats.
She can maybe find one to be friends. But that's a significant point, though, because that's what animals give us. You know, they have this program that they will give a cat to. They've done this, I forgot which prison it is, but each inmate, they gave them a cat. And that's somebody that you could give unconditional love to and would love you unconditionally. And that's kind of a therapeutic thing they've done that have helped some of the hardened criminals, people that kill people, you know, murdered folks and stuff. But this animal helps them to relearn how to love. And it's really interesting because, you know, these big, you know, burly men are very protective of their cat, you know, and very possessive. They say, it's my cat, you know, but that animal is helping them become more human, more loving. They're helping repair the damage to their souls because, you know, people usually are in prison because they didn't get love, as you know. So it's a very successful program that's happened where they've used these animals in a therapeutic manner to help people relearn how to love because that's what they needed. They need something that would give them unconditional love.
Yeah, that's at the root of it, of a lot of problems and challenges in our society. That's why the book, All Lives Matters, or Our Lives Matter, was so important, is that at the root of every child, no matter what color it is, or every part, they didn't get enough love and attention, usually.
Right. So if you realize that even those among us who, you know, we might see as cruel, racist, mean-spirited, if we can see that that's really what is at the root of their problem, then we can even, as a people, heal from a lot of the pain that we have, worrying about, well, why are white people treating us like this, and why are they so mean, and why are they so racist? Each person who grew up in a family where maybe they were treated badly or made to feel like they were unworthy or defective, you know, all they did is just take their hatred out on somebody who was, you know, a scapegoat. And we became, here in America, we became the national scapegoats for everybody who felt bad about themselves, everybody who had low self-esteem. Oh, well, at least I ain't black, at least I'm white. So that's where the whole racism thing came in. It just was a way for people to feel better about themselves by having another group that they made the people who were worse than everybody. And we accepted that identity.
You watch the Netflix documentary, I Am a Killer, you'll see every one of those people on death row had a horrible childhood. I just love that because of that. They documented every people on blacks, whites, women, men on death row, and they told their story about their childhood. Every one of them had a horrible childhood. They did not get love in their childhood. That's why they're now sitting in a prison on death row. Some of them are about to be killed themselves. So this powerful lesson about the root of what you just said about why people behave the way they do, hating others, racist, all that. Started in their childhood, maybe even in the womb, though, especially because we know even the in vitro, in the time in the womb is influencing that child.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had on our show author Arnold Michaelis, who, I'm trying to think of the name of his book, but he was, you know, one of the leader in the skinheads for a while, until he, I guess, saw the light. But he talked about his childhood, you know, I think alcoholic father, you know, violent, you know, verbally abusive and all that. But then, you know, what's the outlet? Well, you can beat up black people, you can beat up Hispanic people, you can feel superior as a race, you know, you can organize around that. But really what it is, you feel bad about yourself because of the way your parents treated you. And that is at the root of everybody who's mean. They're only getting back the non-love that they received. And that's why they behave that way. You know, as long as we're not accepting the idea that there's something wrong with us because somebody's treating us badly, then we can be immune to every kind of racism. The reason why we succumb to it, because if you're living in a society where everybody's agreeing there's something wrong with you, then where do you get the message that you're okay? If nobody ever tells you, oh, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, I love you. If you don't hear that, if you're a child, because you're looking for your identity based on what people tell you. So if all the adults in your life, everybody is telling you, you are inferior, you are ugly, you deserve to be beaten, then that's what you're going to believe. So until you find somewhere where people treat you with love, you're going to feel like you're unworthy of love. And that's what happens.
And people have to admit their love and they need help. And until they do that, some people don't want to even admit, they want to blame everybody that their life is a mess. And they don't want to ask for help because they would be thought of as being wrong. And they've been told they're wrong all their life. So I don't need help. There's nothing wrong with me. Yet you're abusing people with your words. Your life's a mess. You're homeless. You know, you're being beat up by this person, that person, and you're like, well, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine, because they've been told all their life you're awful. You're terrible. And then for them to admit that they had some responsibility and some role to their life being what it is, that would be admitting again, I'm wrong. I did something bad. So they need a therapist to talk them out of that and show them how wonderful they are, and then to show the love that they missed in their childhood and their early life.
Yeah, these are people who respond well when they receive an animal friend, a pet, an animal who will love them unconditionally just as they are, because that's what they need. Yeah. Somebody who's not judging them, somebody that will greet them with love and enthusiasm when they come in the door, I mean, that's what they need, and that's what our animal friends are here to do for us. For those of us who have been told their whole lives that they're worthless, they're unlovable, they need someone to love them unconditionally, and then they'll be able to reflect on the mistakes that they made. Then they'll be able to actually admit, well, maybe my own actions have caused my own pain. But they need the love to heal their souls, and that's what our animal friends do for us. So the least we can do for them is honor their lives. And for those who maybe have been used for food, maybe we can see them as more than something for us to devour, because they have souls too. And I mean, there also there's the understanding that animals who those who so choose to be animals, they also know that comes with it. Okay, I could be somebody's food, that's somebody's dinner. But at the same time, they do have personality, they have thoughts, they have feelings. And so when people choose to become vegetarian, it's because they're aware of that. And they're just deciding, well, I don't want to use this other being as my nourishment when the earth provides what I in the plant kingdom. And so that's a higher vibration of food, because it doesn't cause anybody to suffer or feel pain.
Yeah, and
so that's what I'd rather.
Even higher than that is a breatharian. You look at Ellie Thompson. He doesn't have any food, no water. His vibration is so high, people think he's weird or strange, but that's the highest on the spectrum. Vegetarianism is low compared to where this brother is.
Okay.
So it's like not eating much at all and being nourished by nature is the highest vibration. But most of us don't even want to go there because we love our food.
Oh no, we gotta eat. Here's some food for thought for you, though. I have got to share this because I should have been off 5 minutes ago, but I cannot leave the show without sharing this information. Someone sent me this, and it's on my blog. So if you go to my blog, you'll see it right now. And that is the controversy of what is going on with Juneteenth. We're still celebrating Juneteenth. And I'm trying to pull it up here so you can see it. It says, the white man will try to satisfy us with symbolic victories rather than economic and real justice. And that's a quote from Malcolm X. When I saw that, it made me think back to our conversation, Viata, on how we have been led to believe that we are owed something. And as you can see, there it is right there. So, entitlement, yeah. Try to satisfy us with symbolic victories rather than economic and real justice. And I think the real justice would come in. This is not about black and this is not about white. This is about green people. We have been bamboozled into thinking that it's about black and white. And it's never been about color. It's about equity, economic equity. That's what it's about. And real justice. And I hate to use this, but it's necessary after having the conversation about all lives matter, because all lives do matter, especially as it relates to economic equity and real justice. Because as they are giving out these checks, if you ask me, I really say that this was some form of symbolic gesture of reparations. That's just me. And then you had to be in business in order to receive it, or at least lie and say you were in business in order to get that kind of compensation. And when you get a chance, scroll on down to the other part of the blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. Someone sent me this and I was like, oh my goodness, I got to back up and show it to you. They were talking about Juneteenth. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is going to light some pants on fire. There is a YouTube channel called the Black Authority. And I'm trying to there it is. Juneteenth, symbolism, smoke screens, and scammers. So when you get a chance, go and see this video. It's by the Black Authority on youtube.com. And when you hear that, how he talked about Joe Biden, I think you said that too last night on the show, Vieta, about how. Yeah, repeat that, what you just said for our listeners and viewers.
You mean on entitlement?
Yeah. And when Joe Biden said, yeah, well, I gave you all Juneteenth.
Well, you know, his message was about vaccines. That's why I could tell. It was an update on vaccines from Joe Biden, and he was talking about the percentage.
Did we just lose Viata?
Made Juneteenth a holiday, and I'm like, what? I'm like, talk about symbolism and pressures. Like, if you ain't black, if you don't get the jab, is what I heard in that message.
Go repeat that again, because you broke off, Viata.
I said I was listening to a YouTube on Joe Biden's update on the vaccine, and in the middle, he was talking about percentage of black people or color. I think he used people of color who have not gotten the vaccine, and people who have, and the percentage of this and that, and all those who are not vaccinated are going to be sick, blah, blah, blah. And then in the middle of that speech, he said, and remember, I just signed the. Wow, that's so revealing that he would say that in the middle of the vaccine promotion. Whoa, okay. Symbolism, panderism, all of that came out in his speech.
And the truth is always revealed. I don't care how you try to sugarcoat it, any of that, the truth is going to always come out. So you need to know that.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I want to thank all of our listeners and viewers for joining us this morning here on the after show. I have appointments today, so I'm about 47 minutes behind schedule today, but that's okay, because that's okay. Divine order. This needed to be said, because I know we are always at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing in that particular moment. So I forgive myself for being late according to the clock standards, but I'm going to forgive myself right now and sign off. So thank you, my sister Viata. And thank you all.
Love you both. Touch.
Smooches, and give Jonah and Jasmine a big hug for me.
Yeah. Yes.
And thank you for Mama AZ hanging in there with us. We are praying for you, my sister. And last but not least, give us a clothing thought, Naima.
Be encouraged.
Amen.
This is a time of awakening.
Be
and
encouraged.
we are going to see
William Beckett.
more people with thoughts like your guest today, understanding that all lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the earth is going to begin to transform when we accept and love all people, all beings as worthy of love, and we realize the worth of all beings because we're all one expression of the creative energy of the universe we call God.
Amen.
Amen.
And with that, mark your calendars. I'll see you back here Saturday noon, 12 noon until 1 p.m. on youtube.com, Higher Learning TV show for the round 7 of the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest, 12 noon. Tune in, support our youth. We always talk about what's wrong with them, so let's talk about what's right with them at tuning in on noon on Saturday for 1 hour. Support the youth. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next Monday morning mindfulness. And the Female Solution Show will be right back here tomorrow morning, 7 till 9 a.m. with Jody Susan on self-care. And we'll see you then. Until then, namaste, hotep, shalom.